All right, so we're going to look at a couple examples using rewriting a sequence using sigma notation that are a little different. So let's start. First line of defense is always to see if it's arithmetic or geometric, because you want to rule those out first before you make your life harder. So from 18 to 19, I would have to subtract 1. But to go from 18 to 16, I would have to subtract 2. So that's definitely not arithmetic. Okay, let's see if it's geometric. Well, if it was geometric, I need to find the common ratio. So I just pick 2 consecutive terms. Let's see, I pick these 2, and I do this ratio. Well, if this is geometric, then if I take 18 and multiply that by 18 over 19, I better get 16, but I don't. So this is not arithmetic, and it's not geometric. Okay, so let me erase that. All right, so what's going on here? Well, notice that I started to write out before. I subtract 1 to go down to 18. I subtract 2 to go down to 16. I subtract 4 to go down from 12. And I subtract 8 to go down to 4. So if you think about it, these kind of remind me of powers of 2. Okay? Because I'm not doing multiples of 2 because we skipped 6, right? These are powers of 2. And if you're like, well, how is 1 a power of 2? Well, what about 2 to the 0? That equals 1. So if you think about it, let's try to piece this together, okay? So how do I end up with 19? How do I use a power of 2 to get 19? Well, what if I started at 20 and I subtracted 2 to the 0? That equals 19. Well, how do I get 18? All right, so let's start with 20 again, because we're trying to come up with the general formula. And I subtracted 2 to the first. Does that work? Yeah. Let's see if that works for 16. Yeah, that's 20 minus 4. I think we have a pattern here. Okay. So that's my explicit formula for this sequence. Now I just have to put in sigma notation. So this formula goes in here inside the sigma. And then I have my lower bound and my upper bound. So you could also, so I started with 0. So let me just explain. When you pick your lower and upper bound, you have to make sure it works. So if we start at our lower bound at 1, then I get 1 minus 1. I get that 2 to the 0. And then I have 5 terms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you just check to make sure that it works. If I do minus 2 to the 4th, because 5 minus 1 is 4, 2 to the 4th is 16, 20 minus 16 is 4, it works. Now, another way you could write it is I could have easily just started and at 0 and ended at 4. And I could have written it like this. And I would still end up with producing the same sequence. Okay. Okay, here's another one. It's kind of classic. You're going to see a couple things in here. So to go from 3/5 to 9/10, it's not going to be arithmetic. Okay, if you think about it, 3/5 is the same thing as 6/10. So I'd have to add 3/10 to get 9/10. Well, if I take 9/10 and I add 3/10, I most definitely don't get 27 over 15. Okay, and this is not geometric either. Because if this were geometric, what would I have to multiply by 3/5 to get 9/10? Well, I'd have to multiply the top by 3 and the bottom by 2. But if I take 9/10 and I multiply by 3 over 2, I do not get 27 over 15. So let's take a little closer look. Now, if you look at the numerator looks like powers of 3, right? 3 to the first, 3 to the second, 3 to the third. The bottom, these are multiples of 5. So the numerator is geometric and the denominator is arithmetic, where multiples of 5 are adding 5. Okay, so you can use your explicit formulas for geometric and arithmetic. So for this one, if my common ratio is 3 and a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1, then this would be my explicit formula. And then for my denominator, my formula for an arithmetic, my explicit formula goes like this. right? Remember, we leave the n in there so we could get the formula. And a sub 1 is 5. We're talking about the denominator again. The first denominator is 5. N minus 1, common difference is 5, and you get 5n. So then you just wrap it up, write it in sigma notation. So you have, if you will, a formula for the top and a formula for the bottom. And we're starting at 1 the way this is written, because if I plug in 1, make sure it always works. If I plug in 1, I get 3 to the 0, which is 1, and I get 1 times 3. That produces my first numerator. And if I plug in 2, I get 3 to the first times 3 to the first, which is 9. That gives me my second numerator, and so on and so forth. So it works, okay? And this is going all the way up to infinity because this is an infinite sequence. That's denoted by the dot, 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 okay? Another thing that you could do, you could have also written it, you could also write it like this. We could start at 1, we go to infinity. This is 5n, and this is just 3 to the n. That would work also. It's literally the same thing, right? Because if I plug in 1, then I just have 3 to the first. If I plug in 2, I have 3 squared. If I plug in 3 for the third term, I get 3 cubed. So both of these are equivalent. And if you think about it, using the law of exponents, if I were to rewrite this, 3 to the first times 3 to the n minus 1, laws of exponents say that you're supposed to add exponents if they have the same base. And if I add these two exponents, then I do end up with 3 to the n, which is exactly what I have here.